Greetings. In this series, we are still answering and responding to the those stupid in the West who are attacking Islam. In the last video, I mentioned Gabriel and her answer to a Muslim woman. And I mentioned as well her stupid history, miserable history. And let me add one more issue to that stupid history. The US, when it was, getting formed at its birth, wiped out many nations from Red Indians, the original inhabitants of North America, the USA today. They killed all the Indians and raped their lands. So this is the stupidity of this, the Christianity and Judaism. They say that, our country is built on Judeo-Christian belief. Fine. All right, let's move to another video on the internet. The title of the video, if you like to watch, The Truth About Islam, an interview with Brigitte Gabriel, done by Jamie Swaggart, a well-known evangelist in one of the southern states of the US. Jimmy Boy claims that Islam is the greatest threat against the US today. But Americans are unaware, and he is seeking Brigitte to explain. Well, dear Jimmy, hello there. I've seen, I watch, the videos between you and the late Ahmad Didat, and he mopped the floor with your ass, debating, Christianity and Islam versus Islam. I laughed so much, you showed so much ignorance. Man, you are so lost. You are such an empty ball, full with nothing but air. Or perhaps not even that. Well, it's nice to see that you are still kicking. That's nice. You remind me of your debates with Didat. I start laughing. You're such a comedian. All right, fine. So let's look at, what you said here in this video, that we are, Americans are facing, not only are facing the greatest threat in our lives. Really? Did you feel that the Muslims have been living with you all of your life since you were, shitting in your Pampers, next door to you? Do you know that some of the black arms and hands that built the US, the blacks, the Negro Afro-American, there were some of them, or maybe over 50% of them were black Muslim, that the mercenaries, captured and brought them to the US, and your kind, subdued them to slavery and hard work. They helped building the US. The Muslims have been living next door to you, even when you were shitting in your Pampers. Did you ever feel any of them around? Did any of them commit any aggression against you? Insulted you in any way? How miserable you are. Not before September 11 that you started thinking that Muslims exist in the US. They are close to 12 million today. Not overnight. And not only from Afro-American Muslims. 12 millions. September 11 happened yesterday. 9 individuals from Al-Qaeda, from special, certain small satanic, stupid terrorist group, Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. The 12 millions in America do not have those kind of hostile intentions against you. That's why you never felt any threat from their kind or on their part, to that matter. Such a miserable liar you are. No, you are not facing the greatest threat from within, at home, at the US, from the Muslims. Those words are lies. When you say Islam or that the US is facing the greatest threat against the US today, you are a miserable liar. Because I know that you mean from the Muslims in the US and the world. Well, anyway, let's continue with your video and this miserable guest of yours, Gabriel. Now she lied and said the majorities were in Lebanon. The majority were Christians. The population of Lebanon, it's a small country in the Middle East, and that the majority of the people in Lebanon, they were Christians, and the minority were Muslim. And then she spoke in a way that the Sunni and the Shia and the Durzi are like different beliefs, different religions, while all those are Muslim. In essence, even the Druze are Muslim, the Shia are Muslim, the Sunni are Muslim. All of those are Muslim. So she is lying. So when you combine the number of those three parties, then Islam was the majority always in Lebanon, and she lied. She's a Maronite. She has to lie like that. But something very interesting here. What happened? You were, and Jimmy Swaggart asked her, so what happened? How did you become a minority and they became majority? We will discuss her lies later on. But let me mention something very important. Islam of today, Islam started from the beginning of time, from since Adam time. But Islam of today started 1,438 years back, or in the calendar that the Christians understand, 600 years after the birth of Jesus Christ. 610 years, to be exact. So, Christians existed 610 years before today's Islam. How Muslims become more than Christians in any part of the world, even though Christians existed 610 years before, according to this Gabriel and her lies. Doesn't make any sense, does it? Even today, Christians, claim that they are the most in number in any faith, greater than Islam in number, greater than Hinduism and all the rest. Even today, they say that they are the greatest in number. So what happened? Why Lebanon? Are they sterilized? They don't have the power to beget children? No, but she mentioned, something weird, that, Muslims produce tens of thousands from every man. All right. Let me tell you the story, the history, in brief, the history of this Gabriel country, Lebanon. She says sovereign and independent, like the USA. That's what she says. Democratic country. Lebanon was not a country. Lebanon was a small part of a country. Under Rome, during the days of Jesus Christ, it was called the Syrian province, which contains what is today's Syria, today's Lebanon, today's Palestine, and today's Jordan. So in fact, Lebanon was never a sovereign country by itself until the French and the British divided the province, Syrian province, after they defeated, they won in World War II. They defeated Turkey and Germany, and they took what Turkey had and started cutting the lands, chopping, 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 like Sudan and Egypt. They were one country. Break them. Like, the Indian subcontinent, 4 countries. Today's India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Kashmir, one country, destroy, cut. So they started doing that. And in process, they cut the Syrian province, making today's Syria and today's Lebanon and today's Palestine occupied, invaded by the terrorist Israelis, and today's Jordan. This was one country. And her country was a small village, a small nobody on the map. Until this France, and England divided the countries, and now we have a country she called sovereign and independent. Such a miserable, ignorant claim. But anyway, in the Syrian province, the Christians are minorities everywhere, even today. They are minority in Jordan, which was part of the Syrian province, minority in Palestine, minority in Syria itself, today's Syria, and still minority in Lebanon. And she lied. They were never majority, ever. And Muslims were never minority, ever. Now she says that they were they were Christians. Well, how did that happen? Before you were Christian, you were pagan. You were pagan. Under Rome. You used to believe in myth gods of Rome and Greece. And then when Rome converted to Christianity or became Christian, your country, your part of the province, of Syrian province, that's called Lebanon today, became Christian because everyone under Christian Rome became Christian, including the Coptics in Egypt. They were pagans, and then, they became Christian because of Rome. Rome became Christian, then, those under Rome became Christian. And when the Muslims took over, unlike Christianity, that forced the people to convert to Christianity by Rome, no. Those who came to Islam, they came voluntarily, not at the edge of the sword, as you lie, and your kind. And we'll discuss that, because it comes in your video. You speak that lie in your video. You claim that the Pope said. Very well. So in essence, the Christians were always a minority in the Syrian province. Only when Rome became Christian under Constantine, only then Lebanon was Christian. All Lebanon was Christian, not all Lebanon, all the Syrian province, all North Africa, the north part of the African countries, from Egypt to Morocco, all the northern part became only the north, a thin strip of Africa, all became Christians. And then Islam came and spread over all of Africa almost, and over all of Syria, and in Iraq and Iran and so on. But Christians, after Islam, came, and people started to convert to Islam in millions. Christians in the Syrian province were always minority. Always minority. Christians in Iraq were always minority. Christians in Iran were always minority. Christians in Egypt, the largest in number among the Arab countries, are 15%. The rest are Muslim. Everywhere in the Arab world, And in Muslims globally, Muslim country, Muslim majority, Christians are minority always, all the time. Because millions of them converted to Islam volunteering. Because if they were forced to convert to Islam, then why they stayed as Muslims? Why they did not slide back like Europe? What happened? Europe slid back. All Europe was under Islamic rule. And as soon as Islam retreated, especially from Spain, they converted back. They retreated to paganism in Christianity. Why the others stayed, as Christians, like your kind? Because nobody is forcing you to convert. Otherwise, you will not be speaking against Islam today and have a stupid attack. Very well. We'll continue next time.